Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to VGCommz Judgment Commentary. In this part, we're going to do some investigating. Going to go to check out the alibi of our client, who seems to be in a tad bit of hot water because, you know, he's kind of behind bars at the moment, and we're going to help him get out of behind the old bars. Anyways, this is the area that he claims to be at. Yep, got a bit of an inner monologue going at the moment. And let's see, what can I say about this area? It's not too shabby, just have to talk to some witnesses, try to see if we can get some info, and that's really about it. Well, that's about what we're doing, at least in this area. Some nicely directed cutscenes.
Oh, a detective came by for the same thing. Wanted to know if their suspect was with us the night of
Trying to see if we can get some more info than the cops. And that's kind of a theme you'll find in Japanese media, at least between this and Ace Attorney. That's basically my main influence when it comes to Japanese media involving police officers. That and Kamen Rider. Yeah, Kamen Rider also has a tendency of making police officers sometimes look like a bit of dunces. So there we go. There go three different media sources making police officers look like dummies. Either that or corrupt. Or both. Because why not both? Just like that taco commercial. Why not both? As they say.
Same as any other night.
Interesting. So
and of course this will be far from the last time we'll have to do things of this sort.
As prove Hamura was here, we'll have our alibi.
Oh yeah.
And man, I can't get over how good these character models look. We've come a long way in terms of graphics, haven't we? Like, I was born in 1990, so just imagine, like, my first video game system was a Sega Genesis. So imagine going from Sega Genesis at, like, 16-bit graphics to N64 and how that looked, and just how low poly those models were, to the point where, you know, in comparison to these, they're just... even back then, I was like, these things look like basically dolls. That's what they basically were as far as, like, their articulation of movement and all that. As opposed to now, where they feel like fully fleshed out human beings. Also back then, we didn't have nearly as much voice acting as this, mainly because you could only fit so much audio onto one tiny little cartridge. Like, if you actually look at how much space audio takes up of a video game cartridge, you'll find that it takes up so much space. It's absolutely bonkers.
Seriously expect me to remember something from that?
Like, that's why for the longest time you didn't really hear voice acting in Nintendo games. Especially on the N64. Like, I'm surprised there was as much voice acting as there was in Star Fox. Like, that really shocks me when you look back in retrospect, because, you know, you look at, like, something like Zelda and Mario, not so much, but then Star Fox comes along, it's like, here, just all the voice acting, all the lines. But then again, at the same time, Star Fox 64 isn't that big of a game, so it can sort of get away with that, whereas, like, Mario and Zelda were much larger in scope, especially Zelda. Like, we look at Ocarina of Time, and all the different dungeons, all the different areas, all the different rooms, all the different character models, and all the stuff like that, all the different skyboxes they had to build. Like, obviously there was no room for that, on top of all the unique music, sound effects, and just tiny little voice clips they had to use. There was no room for voice acting there. Whereas for Star Fox, you know, they only had like a dozen areas really, so they definitely had room for it there.
Doubt I'd be able to recognize him if he was standing right in front of me.
Does anyone else know about this?
I don't know.
Also, we're finally getting some info on the alibi. At least a little bit, just the tiniest bit, just a morsel. You know, just you know, not really much of anything, but still something. Just enough to keep us moving along. Or is that later? I don't know. I recorded a lot of these parts. Oh, and something sort of just ended up bleed together. I think I'm up to like part 12 or 13 as far as my recording goes. So yeah, coming back to this, it's kind of like, oh, I suppose this did happen here. And why did I leave this moving around the map bit here? I guess just to show off the map, if nothing else. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm doing. Yes, let us dart over to our destination, T-Dub. Yes, actually start running. Excuse me. Out of my way. Ah, back to the detective agency. It's also here where we're actually going to get a look inside the menus for this game, and they're not designed too poorly in my opinion. Also, sometimes you can get sent mail. It's just a shame it doesn't tell me what this Ace Detective pack is. I have no idea what's in it. Nevertheless, here's our menu for looking at... Oh, it actually... I think it was just labeled there. Whoops, I'm an idiot. Also, we can use disguises at very specific times, and I was hoping that after you clear the main game, you can wear disguises whenever you want. However, you cannot. So if you're hoping, like, to collect all these disguises through all the main quests and all the side quests and think, oh, it's just like the other Yakuza games. Afterwards, you can just wear whatever outfit you want. It'll be all cool, fighting people in a goofy outfit. Unfortunately, that is not the case, which makes me super sad. Why? Why tease us with this stuff? Ryoga Gotoku Studio, why do you do this? Also, here's the upgrade screen. Actually, you can see it's kind of like Fallout 4 in that you have just... They're basically like perks and not incremental stats like all their Yakuza games. However, this is done way better than Fallout 4 because these stats aren't level gated. That's the one thing I absolutely hate about Fallout 4 is the fact that they level gate perks. Like, oh, you wanted to just max out your gun stats? No, you can't do that. You have to enter like level 42 to do that. And that's like 50 hours of gameplay. Jesus Christ. That's way too much. Whereas, in any other RPG with gun stats, you can be like, after like 10 hours, if you dedicate yourself to it, you can completely max out your gun stats if you want.
You're still here? I thought you'd have left hours
And
ago.
here we are back in our office, finally, after going through those menus. And I still can't get over Yakumi having a chain wallet. That is just the greatest of things.
You know that bottle's mine.
Well,
And he's drinking our beer,
the sensei give
or
you any
whatever
work?
alcohol that is.
Yep,
How lovely.
Probably thanks to the Dorayaki. He wants me to scrounge up some evidence for a murder trial.
You got this from Genda?
Ah, this is the first time we've been back since we started this investigation, that's right.
Criminals don't pay the bills, right?
Well, this one comes straight from Matsugane-san. Turns out Hamura went and got himself arrested.
Ah, good old Hamura.
What the hell?
Always getting himself into
For
trouble.
one of those
That's what I like to call him, good old Hamura.
You mean that eye gouging shit?
Mm-hmm. I just dropped by the jail to see him. He claims he's innocent, though.
But is he? Dun dun dun.
Crazy.
Yep, keep drinking that alcohol, buddy. And he's out.
Not interested?
Alright, see you later.
I can't say I blame you after what Hamura did. Booting you from the family.
Yeah, to say the least.
If you want, I'll handle it solo.
Look, don't worry about it. I'm the one who fucked up, not him.
Oh, once we find out what's going on in that backstory, oof. Oof. That's an oof, I say. Because just like everything else in the Yakuza series, there's more than meets the eyeballs. Yes, we should get some rest. We really, really should. What am I doing here? Oh yeah, I'm going to try to play pinball, but unfortunately, we do not have access to the pinball machine yet. We're just like, oh, I want to play pinball. Let me play pinball game. But unfortunately, we cannot. Why did I leave this loan screen in here? I'm a dummy. I try to cut all these out. I really do. Anyways, here we are the next morning here at Yagumi's agency. Just chilling out here.
What's up, Shintani?
Drinking some not Starbucks coffee.
I'm on Nakamichi Street.
Yeah, and?
You know Majore? Little cafe, killer coffee. Come here.
Another
Oh, I
impromptu
love the
meeting?
fact that
Don't want.
they keep the street names the same throughout every Yakuza series. So that way, if you know the street names after playing so many of these games, you're like, oh yeah, I know where that is. I do not even need the game to tell me where that is because I played all these games. I know where everything is. Alright, let's just bolt around out here and over to our destination. And I think that eventually I'm going to start cutting out going back and forth throughout the city because once you've seen the city, you've seen it. But at the same time, I want to show off the different locales a bit. Because it is a very nice looking city. Very well designed. It's small, but compact. And full of stuffs. As we've already kind of seen already. And I did not knock over that plant. Nope, wasn't me. No witnesses. No one saw nothing.
Hey, over here. Take a seat.
Ah, wearing sunglasses indoors, just like a good old gentleman would do.
Right. Anyway, I asked around near Sonic 10. Couldn't get anyone to back up Hamura's alibi, though.
All right. Good work.
So, what'd you call me out here for?
Something came up. Take a look at this.
Look at this photograph.
Cops released it to
Every
the
time I
media.
derp a
It's the
dew.
camera footage from Hamura. Hamura and Kume are both in here. Clear as day.
Ah, this is not helping our case.
Didn't realize the cops had their hands on this. This
And
could be
clearly this
very
is the
bad.
only bit of evidence that the cops have, and they're
Ready?
totally not withholding anything. Nope. Totally not within their realm of expertise at all. That's nothing. That is something that cops have never and will never do ever, 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 ever. So don't just get that out of your head. Cops not withholding any evidence. They're not taking a look at anything, just saying, nope, we don't need to use that. That would make our case look bad. Nope, 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 nope.
Explains why Kumi's buddy there is running for his life.
Yep.
I'm gonna say,
Akira
you're gonna, words I can use them. You're
Word
going to
is
find
he
this
has
guy
another
is
gun
quite the
show
enjoyable
after getting
fellow as far as
interrogated by the
well-written
cops.
characters go. He's just,
By the look
he's
of things,
kind
he
of
must be
a
very high
goofy
up
one, as
alibi.
we'll find out in much
Crazy how
later
free
parts.
Hamura can't just talk his way out of this.
Yep. And there's more. Take a look at this.
I do like how whenever we have inner monologue, instead of actual voiceover, it's just like that weird sound effect, almost like shimmering glass.
Even the owner hightails it.
Wait, why would they stick around?
Who knows? Our pal Hamura never mentioned this part.
That's very true. He did not mention this part.
Now,
Would
this
be nice
happened
if he
around
did.
10 p.m. Meaning, there was another 4 hours before Kume's suspected time of death. The question is, what were the two of them doing all that time?
Also, I just noticed that Yagami's wearing sneakers, which honestly is pretty practical,
said he threw
considering the fact he
Kuma
does a lot of running around. So,
After that,
you know, dress shoes wouldn't exactly be the
went to
most
the sauna.
practical thing to do, you know.
But I want to
Running around wearing dress shoes probably not going to be good on the old
That's
feet.
where you come in, Yagami. You gotta talk to the guy in charge of Hamura.
Ah, we have our next destination. Talking to
Back on
that
site.
dapper gentleman.
Huh?
I'm certain that we
You're the
can
lawyer
get
here.
some good info out of him.
You decide what kind of investigation we need for the trial. But don't tell me how to do my job.
Yeah, don't tell us how to do our job.
Aren't you gonna talk to
Because, you
him
know, we're
either way?
pros at this, which is why we're in debt at the moment. Because we're pros. That's how good we are. Although it's interesting that even though we have all the yen that we do, in, you know, in the actual narrative, Yagami is in debt, kind of. Like, he can't even pay his rent. Once we eventually run into his landlord, she ain't happy. She's not a happy chappy. Not in the slightest. So, yeah, let's go out and get to the bar. So that way we can continue our investigation. Ah, street thugs. The streetiest of thugs. Alright, let's give him a good old Superman punch and ooh, head scissor takedown. Ooh, let's get some basic strikes in there. And a throw. Oh, headbutt. Or a Glasgow kiss, as some call it. And we got some money, yay! And well, yeah, I guess these people would be a bit terrified. I mean, we did just take out a group of thugs without breaking a sweat. And this is me trying to introduce one of the mechanics, but we haven't quite gotten to them yet. So yeah, don't worry, we will eventually. In future parts, we'll get into what's called a friendship mechanic. And yes, we'll be able to befriend store owners as well as other people. Although most of them are store and restaurant employees. And once again, going through the menu. What am I doing here? Ah, getting a little bit tipsy. Nice. And here we have can't remember if we've shown off this mechanic or not, because once again I recorded a lot of parts. So yeah, this is one of those find the things, sort of the Where's Waldo gimmick. And there's a cat in almost every one of these, so be on the lookout for those. I'm going to be trying to find all of them, so that way I can finally get that trophy. I want that trophy. I want it. It's a trophy, so I want it. I need it. And all the other lyrics to that one song at the end of JoJo's. I want you. are wandering around a bit, trying to find my brains. Up there's the club. And the club. It's going down. Derp derp. Derp doo.
Who are you? You need something?
I'm sure I just made a whole bunch of people feel old just by bringing up that song.
Out?
Oh boy. Don't worry, that's not the video freeze, and that's just the game hanging on. In fact, there's a point later in a later part where the game hangs on for a very nervous amount of time. I legitimately thought the game froze, but no, sometimes it takes a while to load, which is strange because I'm not playing this off of a disc. This is downloaded, so everything should just be able to flow super quickly, but no. Even as advanced as we've gotten with our technology, we still are a bit behind in that regard. Sometimes things just hang on for a bit. But you know, at least it eventually loads.
Yep, usually.
Alright, I'll go take a look around.
If you don't mind me asking, how?
See how we have to go and find the owner of this place. He is not here.
Someone I can use to help.
So we're going to have to call upon the power of one of our informants to do that work because, you know, we can't be bothered to search this entire district. That would be too much work for us. So time to phone a friend, as it were. But first, we're going to investigate the back. Also, one thing I meant to bring up in the previous part was I noticed that there's actually an interesting sort of juxtaposition between our outfit and Hamura's outfit. Yagami wears a black leather jacket over a white shirt. Hamura wears a white jacket over a black shirt. I do not think that was done on accident. That seems like one of the types of things that filmmakers would do, you know, like just to showcase how different a character is because we're rough and rugged on the outside, but down the inside, he's a nice boy. He is. Yagami truly is just a sweet, sweet boy. Whereas Hamura, you know, on the outside, he's this dapper gentleman, but on the inside, he's this evil, cruel bastard. And if that was done on purpose, then hats off to you, Ryoga Gotoku Studios. That is like a Hitchcock level maneuver right there. That's what that is with that level of clothing choice. That's something that he would do in his movies. And I feel like sometimes clothing choices aren't made that wisely. And when it comes to any sort of medium, sometimes it's just like, hey, what looks cool? Let's go with that. But if you're actually able to put that level of thought into what a character wears, that's when you know you're on the right track when it comes to character design. Anyways, this is me getting absolutely lost, not knowing where to go, even though the game is telling me where. Like, oh yeah, right here. Nope, you dummy. You big no stop. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm just trying to cause chaos at this point. You know, because why not? Just ruin everyone's day. Oh, I love the physics engine in this game. Sometimes it goes absolutely wonky, and I love it. And because we're lazy, we're gonna ride the escalator. When do we get to the ride? This is the ride. Whee! Oh, I guess I got impatient. Usually I actually do ride that thing all the way up. But I guess because this is a playthrough, we have places to go, people to see. And what am I doing here? What am I... oh, I guess I'm not drunk enough. Oh, come on. Also, when you get too tipsy, sometimes the game gets really wonky with how your character moves. Like, you go left, but he goes left, you go forward, try to go forward, but he goes forward left or forward right, just randomly. And that can be kind of fun.
This is Makoto Tsukumo.
Adds a bit of spontaneity to things. And here is one of our main informants. A bit of a shut-in, but he's a nice guy, and I do like how there's a good rapport between him and Yagami.
What's the mark this time? A lost cat? Someone go missing?
Like, Yagami doesn't look down on him because he is a huge introvert and a bit of a shut-in.
Is probably somewhere.
In fact, he actually later on gives him a compliment for, you know, actually making it out of his house, even though he did wind up here. But hey, baby steps.
For cavemen.
And I'm kind of introverted myself. I don't like public gatherings. I haven't been to a party in over a decade, and if I can help it, I probably won't go to one ever again, because any place that's just full of strangers getting together just for the sake of getting together isn't really my thing. Like,
Well, you're in luck.
that's I've only been to one convention in my life, and that was back in 2012, and it wasn't the best of experiences because the people running the con just ran into one problem after another. Some of it was their fault, some of it was not,
Go ahead, try
and that's
searching for
all
something.
I'll say about
Maybe a
that.
name?
That would be Aragaki.
Anyways, he's going to use some hacksaw skills, or as we call it,
Okay,
searching
and
Twitter. That's essentially what he's
You're at
doing.
it.
Like, this is
Say
something that
today.
I could probably do. That's how basic this is, but I guess Yagami
See?
isn't really good
That
at
map
search
will tell you
engine
the GPS
utilization.
position of all the relevant chatter posts. Not gonna
Oh, well.
lie, I had to give
That's
myself
why he's got
admin
friends.
privileges to get that one though.
Wow.
You got a friend in him.
128
Do
hits.
do do do
We're
do
gonna need to
do.
narrow down the
Totally
search.
not taking
Not
up
sure what else we can
time
put in,
with my poor
Didn't you say the
singing
name of the club,
voice.
Yagamishi? Some crazy French word?
One of these days, I'm gonna just pause this video and look at just what these posts are actually saying, because I'm sure at least some of them are comedic, and just some things that just slid under there, just see if any of the players notice.
So Aragaki wrote this, huh?
Speaking of that,
Just someone who saw it.
there's actually a Yakuza connection to another game I was recently playing that makes me wish that they had a crossover with this game and not goddamn SAO, and that's what I'm talking about, Yakuza and Persona 5. I'm talking about Persona 5 because in that game you can go see a movie called Like a Dragon, and it's about the Yakuza.
Good luck at
And anyone who knows Yakuza over in Japan knows that the Japanese title is Like a Dragon.
More, okay?
God damn. God damn, son. That is a really nice reference. Now, I'm not sure if that was something that only the localization team put in, or if that was in the original Japanese as well, but this makes me want a Yakuza in Persona 5 crossover. And oh my god. Oh, Goro Majima's persona. Oh, that would just be... I don't even want to imagine what his persona would be. I'm trying to think. What sort of figure would his be? Like, trying to think. Anyways, yeah, this is actually a perfect moment to think, because, you know, Yagami's having a smoke. Because he's a detective, he can have himself a little smoky smoke. A little smoky smoke, as it were. Little smoke. Smokety smoke, smoke. And while he's having a smoke, I'm going to leave this video off here. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that snazzy jazzy stuff, and please share these videos around the internet. That is the only way this channel is going to grow. Share these videos. Help me gain popularity on here, because right now, not doing too well, so please share the video. See you guys next time.